Hi guys, I hope you're all doing very well. And I want to tell you about orchids. No, not those kind of orchids. I want to tell you about all the different crypt orchids and the extremely rare anorchid. And let's not forget the big T that plays a huge role here. What am I jabbering on about? I am actually talking about dog crypt orchids and all their variations, and the very rare anorchid, very rare, like a rare flower. You see, the majority of male dogs have got testes that sit in the scrotum, and we would label those testicles. Kind of obvious, that's the average dog for you. But there are also crypt orchids. All right. Now, the normal crypt orchid generally has one testy inside the scrotum, so one testicle, and the other testy is inside the body, the cavity of the dog. All right. So there it is, sitting inside. The bilateral crypt orchid does not have any testes sitting inside the scrotum. So there are no testicles to be seen. And both of the testes are inside the dog's body or cavity somewhere. And then the very rare anorchid is actually born. You will not see any testicles on the outside or testes in a scrotum. And you would assume from that it is a bilateral crypt orchid until a vet actually goes digging around inside and finds there are no testes. Nothing, zip, nada. So this is a huge problem because the normal crypt orchids, so a normal male dog, okay, that has testes inside the scrotum, so two testicles that are on the outside, normal male dog, as well as a bilateral crypt orchid who has both testes inside the body, or the normal crypt orchid who has one inside the body and one in the scrotum on the outside. Those dogs, or those male dogs, all have testosterone, the big T. So the anorchid lacks testosterone, and testosterone is very important for the normal and protective growth of a male dog. Testosterone is there to protect the joints and the bones, which in an anorchid who does not have testosterone means arthritis, osteoporosis in the future, things like that. So then, of course, on the other physical side of lacking testosterone, that dog will also lack muscle mass. It will not be as muscular as an intact male dog who has full testosterone, be it on the outside or the inside, it's still there. But the anorchid does not have that, so it doesn't fully develop. It doesn't get that oomph like an intact male. So that's lacking. Also lacking will be the confidence. Testosterone gives confidence, believe it or not, especially in a well-bred dog. Without that confidence, we are looking at a dog who is going to be more prone to being insecure, anxieties, even aggression because of that insecurity. It's a problem. So the anorchid is truly a very special dog, a rare flower, if you will. Now, the universe saw it fit for me to end up with an anorchid, Lycan, is an anorchid. And we did not know this until he was 4 years of age. Because in those 4 years that I had him, I honestly thought he was just a bilateral cryptorchid. So, knowing what I know about hormones and the importance of hormones, I decided, let me leave those hormones, those testes, inside the dog's body and let those hormones protect him and promote what they do, the whole testosterone thing. And in those 4 years, I was wondering the whole time, why does my young dog have arthritis? Why does he have one health issue after another? Why is he insecure? Why is he anxious? Why is he not fully developing that muscle mass? Why does he not have that beautiful fluffy tail that the majority of male German Shepherds do? Like a peacock with that beautiful peacock tail. My German Shepherd does not have a peacock tail. Instead, when you look at him, you will see the lack of muscle mass. Despite good exercise and brilliant diet, he lacks those things. Not his fault. I also want to mention that it is not the breeder's fault that this dog that they bred has an orchism or is an anorchid. Because it's such a rare thing, it cannot be anticipated, shall we say. And both parents of my dog are really quite highly rated, especially the father. So it's a rarity. And if I think on the whole thing, had this dog of mine been sold to someone who wanted to show him or breed him, and they then found out that what they think is a bilateral cryptorchid is an anorchid, doesn't even have testes, they would probably have gone, this dog is useless. We are going to put him down, especially if they weren't very close to the breeder. Or they would have given the dog back to the breeder, and the breeder would have gone, now what do I do with this thing? No one's going to want him. I can't sell him on or rehome him because he has health issues. That's like passing on the problem, an expensive problem. Yes, it's costing me money. So a breeder like that, having gotten his dud back from whoever bought it in the first place, would put this dog down. Now, fortunately for my dog, and the universe probably chose it to be that way, he ended up with me. I wasn't planning on showing him. I wasn't planning on breeding him. So it doesn't matter that his ears are... It doesn't matter that he's an anorchid, although it breaks my heart that he has all these health issues, because I can only imagine that he does suffer a little bit. As much as I look after him and I provide him everything that he needs to live his absolutely best life, pain-free, or however, I try and make sure that he's very well cared for. So it does break my heart, though, that he cannot do certain things. And I had a long list of plans of things and goals that I had for the two of us to do together, which can't do. Some of the things I did do in the beginning while he was still young and strong. And then I stopped when I saw that, got to be careful, he's developing arthritis. We cannot continue with certain things, or we will injure him, maybe even permanently. So I stopped doing those things. And it's sad because we both enjoyed it. But there's many other things that we can do, which is great. And we do these things, and it's a lot of fun, and he gets great enjoyment and stimulation out of it. And it is what it is. All right. But I'm glad the universe chose me to be his mistress. I believe in being mistress or master to the dog, not fur parent, okay? My dog is not a fur baby. It's a dog, an amazing predator that I have in my life that I absolutely respect, and I treat it as such. Not a fur baby. Definitely not. All right. So I'm glad he ended up with me because despite all his faults, I love him unconditionally. And that is so important. So I hope you learned that when your dog has a genetic flaw that only pops up later, like I said, we only found out when he was 4 years of age because I decided to keep him intact up until 4 years of age because I am a nerd. I do a lot of research and studies. I don't just look at one research or resource. I look at many. I dig until I get everything that I need. And what I'm getting at is that I did find out through my research that it is actually okay to leave testes inside the dog's body until about 4 years. And only after that might there be a health problem that might show up because the testes are inside the body. So at 4 years of age, I sent my boy in for neutering. And then the vet phoned me and said, listen, Andrea, or Mrs. Hubert, sorry, we cannot find any testes. There's nothing inside this dog. We have searched everywhere. We were inside there very, very long. So that's how it turned out. My dog is an anorchid. He's going to be 6 years old in October this year, 2025. He's an amazing dog. We're doing lots of things. And quite frankly, he's my best bud. And I love him. And all that's important is that I provide him with the best life possible. So when you hear me say in any of my videos, previous, future, my dog is an anorchid, take note that it comes with a host of issues, mental and physical. But I've taken it and I made it part of my life, and the universe is challenging me to give this dog the best care possible, and that's what I'm doing. We've now recently applied to a new medical aid, which is great. So if any future issues pop up, at least my dog is covered. So as I mentioned in one of my other videos, when Lycan had flip a foot, put your dogs or your cats or whatever pets on medical aid. Do yourself that favor, because sometimes they can present with the unimaginable, like being in an orchid, which is like such a rarity, and you end up with all these vet bills. And when you have medical aid, at least your medical aid will cover those issues as they pop up. So I hope this has been educational. I hope it's been informative. I hope you understand now how important testosterone is to the male dog, just as estrogen is so important to the female dog. So it is what it is. And I hope this has been helpful and informative. And now you understand why testosterone is so important and what an orchid dog actually is, or any orchid dog. Right, quick history lesson. This dog doesn't like strange people touching him. He, because of being an orchid and having a long list of issues, physical issues, never mind arthritis that we didn't even know about until 4 years later, in regard to the anorchid being connected. So in other words, he had arthritis even as a young dog. So quite frankly, because I didn't have my normal vet because the man retired and he was so good, I don't think we'd have half the issues or Gesundheit that we have now if that vet had actually not retired and had been his vet, because he was amazing. I think this dog would have had the best vet care ever. But unfortunately, best vet in the world goes and retires when I get a new dog who really needed that particular vet. So I was in between vets. We used some other vets. They were terrible, all right. I don't know if they were scared of him or what was going on. My suspicion is that apart from the health issue that I went there for, because he had arthritis, any kind of handling and manhandling that the vets and their helpers did actually hurt the hell out of him. So that traumatized him quite a bit. That already grew that suspicion of strangers just want to hurt you, even when they're being nice. Oh, it's okay, puppy, you're going to be fine. And then they hurt him. And of course, he's going to now see people as anybody trying to be sweet with him as, oh, crap, no, you want to hurt me. So that went on for quite a while. And some of the treatments themselves were terrible, especially when he had tummy aches. The Buscopan for dogs, the injection that they give goes into, well, near the spine under the skin, and it burns like hell. So that happened twice. That confirmed to him that all vets, no matter how nice, it doesn't matter if they are male or female, black, white, green, or purple, all just want to hurt you. So this is one of the main reasons he does not want to be touched by strange people, because in his mind they are all bad. They're going to hurt him. End of story. And please take note, I did my part when he was in those, well, I haven't actually stopped yet, taking him out into public, exposing him to people. We did the whole spiel of allowing strange, gentle people to pet him, like somewhere.